Oh, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to today's Wise 5 Picks stream. 5 wonderful baseball picks coming in for you today. As always, quick recap of last time out. It was a nice 3-2 day, and most importantly, with the 3-2 stream that we had on Saturday, we broke the moneyline curse. We were on a 1-10 streak on moneylines, came in with the Cleveland Indians at plus 112. And got a hit there. So that felt good. Still got some work to do, though, to pull that and the team totals out of the red. Everything else doing great, though. Game total that we had last time was Boston, New York, first 5 over 5. That lost, and that pissed me off because we were deliberating about first 5 or full game, and of course the full game overhit, despite the first 5 losing. But, oh well.
Naturally, that was going to happen.
We had, 2 picks from the Diamondbacks game. We had Diamondbacks team total under 2.5 against the Brewers. Bullpen kind of blew that, so that lost. But we also had David Peralta under 1.5 hits, or under 0.5 hits at plus 147, and that ended up hitting. And we had the chalkiest of all chalk nerfies, Mets Padres with DeGrom and Musgrove, and that hit. So I like the energy. What's up, Larry? Jack says 4-1 game today. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling a 4-1 today too. We're on the right track again, but we haven't had that big 4-1, 5-0 day. Can't wait to watch with volume today, but I'm watching to see your picks and gonna break them down. Oh, can't watch with volume today. Okay, I got you. We need
one of those sign language people on another screen, Nick.
What we need to do is we need to get this to make Braille, so you can just somehow touch your screen and hear our commentary. It's like Braille closed captioning.
Yeah, or closed captioning would be a better option, but I like the creativity.
Also, we're thinking outside the box here, okay?
It's like, why do you know Braille? Oh, it's a sports betting Twitch stream I watch. What the hell's going on over there?
All right, are you ready to hop into it, Ben?
Yeah, I am. This first one is pretty juicy. So
it is. I think this is the second juiciest money line that we've ever had on the stream. We're gonna go Cubs money line today at plus 169. Oh, I need to. It's here. I promise.
Nice. Yeah, I like this number for a few reasons.
Change the. Yeah, you talk about it. I have to change the crop area so I can actually show that it's minus 169.
Yeah. So Zach Davies. Conventional thinking would be, well, why are you going with him again? Because we went with him last time against the Giants, but kind of broke this down, and we like the value here with the Cubs. I mean, we're getting a pretty good number here. Some spots it's at plus 155, almost a plus 170. And I know the Cubs are on the road. They're not in Wrigley. I know Davies had a poor outing in his last start. But this number is just too high. I think you're catching a lot of value. I know that the Padres have been playing good baseball, but I think Lamet is a guy who is young and, with some veteran bats on the Cubs offense. I think they could hit him, and they have in the past in a smaller sample size. But I think they're going to come in with the right mentality here on the road. And again, it's not a 50-50 play, but we think that the value is here, so we got to go with the Cubs.
Yeah, and I'm on board with this too. It's really going to be, I think, a battle of the bullpens, and I think the Cubs bullpen's a little better. So even if Davies gives up one more run than Lamet does, I still think that the Cubs bullpen is a run better.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, not much more to it than that. All right.
Yep.
So on to pick number 2, our game total wise pick of the day is going to be under 8.5 in the game between the Seattle Mariners and the Detroit Tigers. I think if this is, it kind of just feels like a value play to me here. We've got two pretty underwhelming offenses. I mean, they're teams that can both put up some runs every now and then, but don't do it consistently. And two pretty good pitchers. Matthew Boyd on the mound for Detroit, Marco Gonzalez on the mound for Seattle. Both pitchers are left-handed, and both of these teams hit a little bit worse against lefties than they do against righties. And I think that the reason that this number's up at 8.5 and not more in like the 8 range is the fact that both pitchers have some question marks. So Gonzalez has made just one start since coming off the injured list, but it was a good one. Back on June 1st at home against Oakland, he went 4 innings, only gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 earned, 6 Ks against a good Oakland Athletics team in that one. Boyd started out the season fantastic, but has given up at least 4 earned in each of his last 4 starts. But I think now at home against the Seattle team is going to be a perfect opportunity for Boyd to kind of turn it around a little bit. So I think those question marks are what makes this a number that's at 8.5 and not 8 or even like a juiced 7.5. Jack says I like Tigers in this one. I do too. I didn't want to touch the money line here just because of that uncertainty about Boyd. I think if Boyd has another start where he gives up 4 or 5 runs, I think that's a lot worse for the money line than it is for the over or for the under. So I do agree. I do like the Tigers here as well, but I like this under a little bit more.
Yeah, I was gonna say Boyd is a guy who I think can turn it around. Obviously, looking at his numbers earlier in the season, so looking at some of his numbers on the season though, as a whole, really good chase rate. I'm looking at Baseball Savant. He's middle of the road when it comes to his WOBA and his ERA, xERA, but I think, again, you mentioned it. This is a good spot. He's back at home. I think this is the spot where, he can minimize some damage, and I think that's all we're really hoping for.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, third pick today is going to be our team total play. And this one is one that made me wish that we started the stream at like 9:30. Because this line is moving and moving and moving, and I'm honestly not going to be surprised at all if I have to change this again, just because of how quickly this line is moving. But we're going to go Orioles team total over 4.5, which is now at plus 110. It was over 4 at minus 120 before. But going Orioles like this against the New York Mets. So we should still be able to get this minus 110. Let me lock this line in real quick. Oh god, no! Don't do this to me.
What?
Over 4.5 is at minus 110 now on points bet.
Wow, we lost 20 cents of value.
We still have plus 105 on points bet. Hopefully, DraftKings. I think DraftKings is actually where the minus 120 was before also.
Yeah, this line isn't moving.
Yeah, plus 108. So it has moved again. So let me make that quick change. But yeah. So Orioles, this is a cap that we've been on stream a couple times, and it hasn't missed yet. Orioles against left-handed pitching. They just dominate. So over the last 3 weeks, I think is the random time frame that I have up right now. The Orioles, since the start of May, the Orioles are the best team in the league hitting against left-handed pitching. They're batting .309 against lefties, WRC plus of 147, which means that they're 47% better than league average against left-handed pitching. Not only are they hitting for average, they're also hitting for power, isolated slugging percentage above 200, which is one of the top couple numbers in the league. And the lefty that they get today, David Peterson, has been struggling. Last start, we're obviously not expecting anything that bad, where he went just 0.1 innings, gave up 5 earned runs. But he's a guy that we've seen have to get pulled early like that before. He's a guy that consistently gives up 2-3 runs against worse offenses. Like he gave up in his start before the last one, he gave up 3 at home to Colorado. So now instead of one of the worst teams in the league, you have one of the best team in the league against left-handed pitching. I wouldn't be surprised if the Orioles light up Peterson in the first 3 or 4 innings for this full over.
Yeah, this is just a really good spot for Baltimore, and Nick and I aren't overthinking this one. We're gonna trust the numbers and hoping for. I think 6 runs is a possibility too. So
Yeah,
we're not gonna get greedy. We'll take 5, but it just seems like Peterson is not gonna be able to get through the first few innings without giving up a few runs.
yeah, completely agree. All right. So next up, we have our wise player prop of the day. Back to strikeout props. We have Michael Pineda over 5.5 strikeouts at plus 116. And I think that I have to go to FanDuel to lock this in. Let me look for it one more time on our 3 affiliated books. But if not, I'm going to pull up FanDuel. So, Ben, fill us in a little bit on this one.
Yeah, so, a few things with this one. I think one in particular is the Yankees. They're struggling right now offensively, and I think that's no surprise. Guys like LeMahieu are striking out a lot. Of course, when you have Stanton and Judge. Judge has been hitting pretty well, but Stanton's been striking out a lot. It's a good opportunity for Pineda to rack up a few. But I think the biggest thing is Pineda's last start was one of his worst of the season. 3 innings, 5 earned against the Orioles, 1 strikeout. If you look before that, he had 8, 7, and 5. So I think you're catching a little value here. Speaking to that last outing, I think 5.5 is a pretty good number, and we're getting that at plus money too, plus 120. I think that's a great bet.
Yeah, this should really be, I think, like a minus 115, minus 120.
Yeah,
type number on this.
Or in my opinion, Nick, 6.5 at plus 120. I'll even go that far too.
I think 6.5 is too much, personally.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I think.
But yeah, like Ben said, I mean, it's just one bad start is giving us this juice, and we will happily drink it. So Pineda, aside from that last start where he had 1 strikeout, actually his lowest K number all year is 5. Like Larry says, and like we've capped on before, the Yankees do strike out a lot, especially against right-handed pitching. They're potentially going to run 9 righties out today against a right-handed pitcher in Michael Pineda. And one more thing that I like is this new guy that the Yankees called up. His name is Chris Gittens. He's a super interesting prospect. So he's 27, making his major league debut just in these last couple days. Crazy raw power. Like, raw power in batting practice that rivals Judge and Stanton. But the guy just cannot make consistent contact with the ball. He's been up for 2 games so far, 7 at bats, 4 strikeouts. So I think that that's a guy, especially if Pineda can go 2 for 2, striking him out. What are all these bots in the chat? I don't want to become famous and buy followers. I had to ban 3 of them.
Power in numbers, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that the addition to this guy into the lineup is the key. I think he's a free at least 1, maybe even 2.
And back to the Yankees striking out, and Larry mentioned it in the month of May against righties, 27.4% strikeout rate. That's only second behind the Braves at 28. So the numbers definitely support this too. If you've watched the Yankees recently, they're really striking out a lot. Even if you want to go deeper, more granular, I should say, last 2 weeks, we're looking closer to 30% strikeout rate. So striking out a lot, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
pressing. I would say they're definitely pressing at the plate right now. That's fair to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is, I would say maybe even my favorite pick today. I don't usually like saying favorite pick, but I think that this pick and the Orioles pick, I especially in love with both of those.
Yeah. So.
All right. Is it time for everybody's favorite segment of the show?
We need like a little theme song that we just hit play, and it's like some sort of little nerfy jingle.
I think we should buy a Stream Deck, so I can just sit over here and press a button.
Hey man, we got the capabilities to record some of these. And then dog of the day, we'll just have Blue bark, and then we hit a little button.
I love it. Okay, so the Nerfy and Jack, there's a reason that we ignored your question earlier. Ben, do you want to read Jack's question that he asked?
Jack's question was Marlins Rockies under 7? Question mark.
Yeah, so we like that play quite a bit, but we're going to take the Nerfy there instead. So Ben, you're the big Rockies guy. Fill us in on this Nerfy
guy. Huge
Rockies guy.
Actually, sadly am. Yeah. So Colorado on the road, just terrible. They can't hit the ball. At this point, I think it's mental. It's different atmosphere going from higher elevation to lower elevation. I mean, they're literally going from a mile high to Miami, which is pretty much sea level. Pablo Lopez has pitched pretty well in first innings. He's pitched pretty good throughout the season too, in all innings. And I'm not too scared about the Rockies somehow mustering up a run in the first. I mean, their team total is at 2.5. I think it comes down to Sensatella, but he's a guy that I think can minimize some damage here. And Miami's a team that they do have some bats, but I'm banking on Sensatella getting out of this first inning. I really think it is likely that will happen. And minus 139, almost minus 140, a little bit of juice, but I think with Lopez to start off the game, I think we're going to feel pretty good. And it kind of comes down to, the Rockies can get out of that first with Sensatella, but I think they'll get the job done today.
Yeah, and I like this one quite a bit as well. So some stats. So Pablo Lopez, 12 games so far this year. This is his 13th start, which means he's pitched 12 first innings. Only given up 3 runs in those innings. He has had a little bit of an issue allowing guys to get on base, but I think against the Rockies, that's not going to be as much of an issue. On Sensatella's side, his first inning ERA this year is 4.09, so that's 5 earned runs in 11 innings. But those came in just 3 starts, so he's actually 8-3 on the year in Nerfies, despite having 8 starts this year coming in Coors Field. So he's a guy who has pretty typically had solid first innings, including winning 7 of his last 8, as far as the Nerfy is concerned. So what's the Nerfy streak at? The Nerfy streak is currently at 1.
Yep. 1.
We had the Oakland, Colorado Nerfy on June 4th. That was the Montas Gray game, I think. We had that at plus 138, and that lost. Do you know what is on quite a streak right now, though? It's the props. We are on a 7 prop winning streak.
Yeah, that is true.
At the moment.
So yeah, this seems like a pretty good Nerfy here. So again, go look at Colorado's numbers, like we've said, on the road.
Yeah,
that's
a
awful.
Big
part of this. Yeah, I think I would guess the worst in baseball right now.
I can look that up.
Yeah, 4-22. And also, Nick, I wanted to bring up another bet that I think is closely associated to this one that I think is very interesting. On points bet, player to record a win. So of course, The pitcher has to record the win. His team just can't win because if it's tied when the pitcher leaves, of course, that wouldn't count. But Pablo Lopez is at minus 105. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, so the money line for the whole game is minus 191 for the Marlins. This is basically cutting that in half.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some more numbers that we could dive into, but it just seems like if the Marlins get up, right, it's a good proposition because the Rockies coming from behind is not is not a good look. But maybe it's one that seems better. But
here, Ben,
maybe it's where
how many wins does Pablo Lopez have this year?
I think he has 4, right?
He has 1.
Only has 1.
He's 1-3 with 8 no decisions.
Oh, he has 8 no decisions. So a lot of that's probably factored into this odds, right?
Possibly.
These odds. That's very interesting. 8 no decisions.
So you got anything for NBA today, Ben?
NBA. Is he saying any props for NBA? Jesus. Or is he saying any props for NBA Ben? Jesus.
Yeah, like, is he calling you Ben Jesus? Or is he saying,
or is he calling me
Jesus?
Jesus?
Props?
Ben Hameen. We can look at a few if you want. I mean, we're about to wind down.
Let's see. So
who we got
today?
We got the
Hawks and Sixers.
That's right.
And Clippers and Jazz.
Man. So Nick, fun fact real quick.
I love fun facts.
All the teams remaining in the NBA playoffs, I believe, have never won an NBA championship.
Every single team left?
I'm almost positive, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and also there's another crazy stat that said you have to go back to like 1998. There's only been 2 seasons when someone not named Kobe, Duncan, or I want to say it was LeBron too, hasn't been involved in the championship. Just
it's got to be LeBron because he's been in 10 of the last 11.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where you're like, wow, but then you think about it, you're like, oh, I guess that isn't as shocking. But the props for this one, it's really tough because I don't know the health of Embiid. I think naturally, like, people want to play the overs for like Ben Simmons, but here's the most frustrating part about playing a Ben Simmons over, Nick. He's shooting under 50% in the playoffs from the free throw line. So 15 and a half looks pretty good, but then you start watching the game and he's missing, 4 free throws and you're like,
that's a lot of randomness.
What, the missing free throws?
Yeah. Or like if he takes, I don't know, 8 free throws in a game, he could make 6 of them or he could make 2 of them. And that's like equally likely.
But his free throw percentage on the season has been pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, if each one's a coin flip.
Yeah, that's true. There is a lot of randomness. I do agree. And I think last game, if you were on his over, it kind of got you in the butt. He's shooting 60% on the year. Woohoo! Yeah. Sorry, Ben. It was not 50. It was 60. But I think the playoffs, though, it's been under 60 or under 50. But yeah, naturally, I'm staying away from some of these props just because I don't know what to expect. But I don't like the Jazz tonight. Seems kind of like a square pick, but I mean, you go from a Game 7, rested team,
number 1 seed in the conference.
Yeah, number 1 seed in the conference. Almost seems a little fishy that it's only 3. I guess it's
is that the LA factor? The star power factor?
Probably. I would say so. It was funny, right? Like, back just 2 weeks ago, I think we were riding off the Clippers for a little bit, but here we are. So I don't know. Maybe it's square, but I like the Jazz. I think that's a gift getting -3. Ben Simmons to make a three is 14-1. God, he's such an interesting player.
Yeah, he's a unique.
So yeah, that's all I really have for NBA, I would say. Unfortunately, not a lot to give out, but yeah, I actually like our MLB picks a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Pineda seems like a pretty good.
I won't go back and say that that's my favorite one, because apparently the last time I said that they lost. So
yeah,
I love all of our picks equally.
Boom.
Boom.
Ben Simmons' first field goal.
Let's see what that's at.
I get scared playing those ones, man.
I mean, those are just like silly. In my opinion.
I think there's something to it, Nick, when I really think about it. But it comes down, can he make the basket, though? A lot of these teams, they run like a first set play to start the game. But he's got to make it still. It's got to be really annoying when you have the guy and then misses the layup. Yeah, assists and rebounds, but they're going to be pretty juiced, though, I would say. I wonder if he'll be on Trae Young more in this one. So maybe the points is worth a look for the under, because if he is going to give more effort defensively, I mean, the Hawks got killed on the pick and roll. So maybe something to watch for. Of course there is. The first basket. That's funny.
I mean, it's like the same thing as a Nerfy.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, not quite, but...
Crowder missed the shot. That's funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's ironic.
It's ironic funny. It's not like, ha 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 funny.
You suck. No. Crowder got hot again. God.
Good old clam chowder.
Fun fact. Nick, fun fact. Ben Simmons is from Australia.
I did know that.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny is on Basketball Reference and then even the Football Reference, the nicknames they have for some of these guys. And in my mind, I'm like, I've never heard anyone ever call him these things. Fresh Prince, Peacemaker, Benny, the Yank, Big Ben, the Wizard of Oz.
Ah, yes. Ben, a.k.a. the Wizard of Oz Simmons.
From downtown.
From all the way on the other end of the yellow brick road.
Except Ben Simmons doesn't do that. That makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, I get why they call it. No. Has anyone ever heard Ben Simmons called the Wizard of Oz? Crowder got hot again? Well,
yeah, Ben, you're sus.
Ayo. But really, I think they're trolling us with these. Watch. Go look at Jokic.
Oh, I get it. Because he's the Wizard of Oz, A-U-S. Like Australia.
But see, Nick, I think these... No one actually calls him that.
No, I don't think so either. There's a Reddit question from the Sixers subreddit from like 3 years ago that says Basketball Reference calls him this. Where did it come from?
Okay, Larry, for example, Nikola Jokic. Joker. Okay, cool, yeah. I mean, that's actually his nickname. But then you have the Cookie Monster. I've never heard Jokic called the Cookie Monster in my life. Also, Yoke. Big Honey. I don't know. I think they're trolling us.
Yeah, I can't find like an origin story for that nickname.
Okay, what about this one? Rudy Gobert, the Stifle Tower.
That's pretty good. I like that.
But what is, I know Eiffel, but what does Stife mean?
Oh, to stifle means like to stop it from happening.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good one.
Uh-huh.
Because he's of course from France.
Yeah, and he's like a great shot blocker and interior defender. He plays stifling
Also,
defense.
the French rejection kind of sounds funny because in my mind I'm like, he's a reject.
It's like the French connection.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Go to like some
just...
super random player. See what their nicknames are.
Let's go with
Go to Darko Milicic.
Actually, I'm going with Kankar. He's like a Nuggets bench player. They don't have one for him. Darko Milicic. All right, let's see what we got here.
The human victory cigar.
Who's that?
That's Darko.
I don't see it on. Oh, I do see it.
The human victory cigar. He just sits on the bench.
Yeah, this is yeah, one person says it and that's their nickname. That's basically what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, Nick, another fun fact. Seth Curry is, well, I should say,
related to Steph
Doc
Curry.
Rivers is his father-in-law.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of weird, you know?
Yeah. Michael Porter Jr.'s only nickname on here is MPJ.
Nice. That's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. Here, do you want to hear a really strange fact?
Yes.
So, the top 3 players in Major League Baseball in home runs all have Junior at the end of their name. I guess 2 of them are tied with Jesse Winker, who does not have Junior.
Wait, is Vlad up there?
Vlad, Tatis, Acuna. Junior.
Is that a coincidence, or is there something to that?
Well, I mean, with at least 2 of them, it's certainly good genes because their fathers were also fantastic baseball players.
Tatis Jr.?
Yeah,
I think Tatis's dad played.
Tatis's dad was a great baseball player.
So why did you say with at least 2 of them?
Well, because Acuna.
Oh, Acuna. So you're just respecting his father.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I am actually. Let's see here. Acuna Jr. I bet his dad played a little ball, you know?
Probably.
I mean, we all played a little ball, right?
Yeah. Fernando Tatis Sr. played 949 games in the bigs.
I'm not seeing a lot about his dad.
Acuna?
Oh, there it is. Played minor league ball. Venezuela at the Pan American Games. So he's not bad. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of good players who, never play in the MLB. I mean,
like me.
Well, yeah. All right, we're getting down those deep rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Hope you guys learned something.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's storming here.
Where do you live, Larry? Are you like up in New York or something? I kind of forget. You're a Sixers fan. So you got to be in in Jersey, New York. Okay.
New York. All those Knicks fans celebrating after one win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy people.
Okay, hold on. Can we talk for a second about Obi Toppin? Everybody was all over him for Rookie of the Year. I told y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way. He wasn't a bust, but definitely wasn't even close to top 5.
Yeah, I mean, he fit the exact stereotype that literally every other player like him fits.
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
You know what's funny is when we had that NBA discussion with John Murray, the Suns was a team we brought up.
Yeah, you were all over Devin Booker.
Yeah, but except I was a pussy and I didn't bet them. But I should have. And not only did they win the Pacific, but I mean they're in a good spot to win the West.
Yeah,
at their odds. Because I mean I think they were 25-30 to 1
at least.
And now they're down to like 10 to 1, I think. So got some good value there if you played it. I'm hoping the Nuggets can turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Nick, who do you think is going to win, the Knights or the Avs? Because that's going to
be tough. Vegas has looked like the much better team the last 2 games.
Yeah, they really have.
But
even in game 2, they played well.
Yeah. So I do think that the home ice is huge there. Also, I think the other thing is having the last change is going to be really big for Colorado, because with Vegas having the last change at home, they were able to get the matchup that they wanted against the McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog line, and those guys were completely invisible in those last 2 games.
What's the last change?
So you know how, like, when they come out for a face-off, each team puts players out on the ice, right, and they like switch them around.
Mm-hmm.
So the away team has to decide what players they have out first, and then the home team, based on who the other team puts out, can decide who they want to have.
Nice. If Avs don't take this one, it will be tough.
Oh, if the Avs lose this, they're toast.
Yeah, they're going to go back to Vegas.
Yeah, you need Avs for your 150K parlay.
I think we get full capacity too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be a great game.
It was rocking in Vegas. So need Avs.
Yeah, he does. He needs the Avs. He has
someone on Twitter. Someone on Twitter told me to grow a pair, so I sent them a GIF of a pair dancing.
Did they say PEAR?
No, they said PAIR. But I didn't want to get in an argument with them, so just like, all right.
Yeah. What did you say that made them say that?
Oh, we were talking about the soccer game because there was a bunch of fans throwing bottles at the players.
Oh yeah. The players just need to grow a pair.
That game was crazy.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that was a while. We should have gone to that.
I was thinking about it.
I mean, I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I'll go to that if it's in our backyard, you know.
It was in our backyard.
Yeah. All right. Well, my last words today are good luck. Go Cubs. Go Orioles. Go other teams, and Pineda.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I got. You got it. Oh, yeah. Let me give one quick shout out to Bookit Sports. I think most of you are probably on it by now, but if not, make sure to join. Nick can drop the link there. Great place to engage with other sports bettors, get top picks. I'm in there. Speaking my mind. Also, Nick, I didn't tell you this, but I had Brooke Lopez over 4.5 rebounds in game 1.
Oh, I saw your TikTok.
Oh yeah. 5.5. He was sitting at 5 with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a tragedy.
Yeah, it especially hurts when he's a 7-footer.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh man, there were so many rebounds that he missed by like a few inches. I was like, grab the ball.
That's the way it is sometimes.
That's how it goes sometimes, but
yep.
All right, I'm gonna hop off.
Yep.
See you guys in the Discord.
Yeah, thanks everyone as always for being here, and we'll see you again tomorrow.